Alright, so let's attach a wood post down to the concrete. So I'm going to use one of these Simpson Strong Easy Base fence posts, and you need 4 bolts here, or 4 anchors. And so the anchors I'm going to be using are also these Simpson screw anchors. So these ones just drill right into the concrete. I'm going with 3 inches because I have a 4-inch slab. So if I use a 4-inch screw, it's actually going to go all the way through. So I want to leave a little bit of space there at the bottom. So that's why I'm going with the 3-inch. All right, so I want this to sit a couple of inches away from the wall here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the circles. All right, and so that's where my 4 bolts are going to go. Now I'm going to be using my rotary hammer for this. You can pretty much use any drill as long as you have a drill bit for concrete. It's just that with this guy, it's going to be a lot faster compared to any other drill. And then for the drill bit, I would normally put some tape here, but if you compare the two, the end of the thread is pretty much the same length as the bolt. So that's a good enough indicator for me to know where to stop. All right, so now I'm just going to clean this with some compressed air. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and screw this in now. All right, so I'm going to keep it a little bit loose so that way I can still pivot this around, and then I can go ahead and start drilling out the other holes here. All right, so all 4 holes have been drilled, and everything lines up well. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the screws on. One issue that I do have though is that this is an old planed piece of 4x4. So you can see I have a little bit of a gap, about a finger gap on the sides here. And again, because I planed this for a previous project, so I lost a lot of thickness here. So what I'm going to do to compensate for that, I cut out some additional wedges here. Now I'm going to stick those in there to compensate for that wiggle room. So you can see it's already kind of starting to work there. So I currently stained just the bottom part. Once I get this in there and all screwed in, I'm going to go ahead and stain the rest of the post. And I'm going to put these, put one in the back, and I'm going to put one on right here on the right. That in there a little bit. Now the last thing I'm going to do to fully set this post is that it's already pretty secure here, it's already pretty snug, but final measure is that there's 4 holes for screws that go on opposite sides of the Easy Base. I'm using exterior rated screws here for this. These are 2 inches. And then you know what? It is for 4, but I think I'm just gonna go with 2 on each side. I think that should be good enough. All right, so there you go. That's how you set up a post to concrete. Pretty simple installation. You just drill your 4 holes, put the screws in there, and then screw the wood into the bracket here. And 20-30. That's not going anywhere. Now, if you notice, I did put these extra pieces of wood right here. See how it kind of flares out? So that's for a different project, but for the most part, that's how you connect a wood post to concrete. So hopefully you guys have liked this video. This has been Household Journeys. Take care, people.